Some motherfuckers, the last week the Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky died, and I'm going to make some videos analyzing some of his best games in his memory, because he was a great chess player and a great content creator of chess, and he's a man who teaches chess to many people. So, hey, I'm not so good at he, of course, but I'm going to try to show us the chess that I know, and I'm going to um, just to keep his memory alive to show us some of his some of his best games. Okay, the game that I'm going to show us in his video is a loss, but it's because it's an important game in his life, of course. Um, okay, he born in 1995, so in this game he has only it's in October of 2004, so he in this game he has for 8 years or nine, sorry. And this is a simultaneous game that he played against Boris Spassky, a former world champion, one of the best players of the history. And Daniel Naroditsky and his brother played this simultaneous exhibition against Boris Spassky with the black pieces, and I'm going to show us the game. Okay, Spassky opened with e4, c5, knight f3, d6, d4, he takes knight f6, knight c3, a6. Naroditsky chose the knight of Sicilian, very aggressive to play against a former world champion with only 9 years, but he goes so aggressive from his young years. So let's see how continue the game. Spassky responds with bishop d5, and here Naroditsky selects e6, who is the main move. Knight bd7 was another option, and here white have three main responses, or f4, or queen e2, or bishop c4. Against f4, the idea is just play queen c7, and after queen f3, just h6, and if bishop h4, d5. This pawn sacrifice is so interesting, followed by queen c5. Okay, the theory is more, and then you go to e5 with a knight, b4 with other knight, and the game is so complex. And bishop f6 is a move that I employ once with black we wait in this position. Knight f5 and f5. But okay, here with queen c5, black is fine. Okay, queen e2 you can make or queen c7 or h6. And with bishop c4 again, there are many moves, but my favorite was queen b6 and h6. Okay, now let's keep plays a6 with the main move in this position. And here, Spassky went with f4 with the main move. And here black has many options. That's the main position of the knight of with bishop g5. Here black has many options. I'm going to show us all a little bit and to show us the small line with white to the that. Example, if queen b6 with the queen pawn, here queen d2. Queen d3 is possible too. Queen d2, rook b1, rook queen e3, and here f5 was the best. If here it made the poisoned pawn the right with a6 first and then queen b6, it's more or less the same, but here we have the extra option of play with e5. I remember that bishop takes f6 was another option, and f5 of course. Queen c7 is not the best, but okay, this transposes to a structure of the classical Sicilian, not to it's more a classical, not an iron. You can just take and win f3. In knight c6, who is straight, you can just take an e5. Uh, okay, and now white is threatening b5. If you are asking why white is threatening, white is threatening b5. e5, sorry. In b5, the problem of b5 is that b5 doesn't stop e5. So now we are going to play e5. It takes f takes queen 7, takes queen e5, bishop e2. This line is forced. Queen takes, short castle, rook e7. Now queen d3 followed by knight e4, queen e5, knight f3. Yeah, like I told, all of these black moves are completely forced. And black is going to play in this way if you play like this with queen c3, queen e3, and then after three queens, knight f5. White is slightly better. And knight d7 was another main line. Queen f3, queen c7, long castle, and b5. That's one of the main positions. There are many games, and white have plenty of options here. But bishop d7 was the main move, who was sold by Naroditsky. Nowadays there are less play, but in the past there are the most employed moves, of course. Bishop e7. Bishop e7, yes, queen f3. And here, Naroditsky made a mistake with short castle. Uh, with black, it's better to not define yet the king. and it's better to just still developing the pieces and quite with your king in the center because sometimes your king is going to be safe in the center, sometimes in the king side, sometimes in the queen side, and especially that you are not showing your cards, who used to be so important in this type of position because now if you go for castle, now your opponent will wait, knows that your king is in on J, so now the white plan is going to be focused to attack your king on J. But for example, you have your king in the center. If your opponent start to attack you in the center, you can go where you want into one side. Or if he prepares that, for example, white knows that the most probably that black is going to go to the king side. So probably white is going to push the H pawn, the E pawn. But now if you saw that the king side attack is so developed, you can just keep your king in the center and just lock about the his queen side attack. So for that reason here was better a move like queen c7, just developing the pieces. Long castle, knight b7. Here the main move was d4, b5, bishop takes. Here be careful not take with the bishop because bishop b5 and then the d6 pawn is hanging. So knight f6, d5 and this pawn sacrifice. And okay, here started the theory. There are maybe thousand of games. Let's see how many games there, like 6,000 of games or 7,000. That's the main line of the position. I play this position with I don't remember. I don't know, sorry, I play yes, I play that. My opponent played me that. Okay. But here Naroditsky makes a mistake with Sword Castle. Like I told, Sword Castle was a mistake because you are showing your cards sorry so early, and now you are showing to your opponent where you are going to have the king. And apart is that here the development is important because white is coming with e5 in some moment, and you should have developed your pieces with 97 with 7. So I don't like Sword Castle. But okay, Naroditsky have here like 8 years. Yes, he only have 8 years, and so that's of course to play with 8 years against a former world champion is not easy. Okay, long castle, queen c7, bishop d3, and here Naroditsky made another mistake. He made the careless move b5. Here you cannot play b5 of course because you first should develop the pieces. Knight d7 and okay maybe later b5 can work, but not b5 here is not going to work because you are open this diagonal, attacking the rook, and then white is going to break with e5 with a tempo. So here b5 is not doesn't work. Spassky plays easy move e5. It's easy because you are just attacking the rook, and you are attacking the knight. So and apart you are open this bishop, you are open this queen. So and if you are going to defend the rook, maybe the queen now is coming to h3. So if he tries to defend with bishop b7, typical move against e5, but now just queen h3 and just the position for white is winning because by attacking your f6 knight, and if you remove your knight, I'm going to take on h7, and if you don't remove your knight, I'm going to take your knight and then take on h7. So there is no way for black to defend here. So yeah, he tries the takes, but now bishop f6, you cannot take the bishop because this is checkmate. So a6, bishop takes, and now I have a piece up, and of course the attack is still being alive. So yes, finally Naroditsky resigns here. Now the white position is completely winning, and checkmate is coming soon. For example, after bishop takes, just queen g6, checkmate or something like that. Or like I don't know, maybe take here. I don't know. Everything is completely winning here for white. So okay, that's not his best game of his career of Naroditsky, of course, but I think that is a memorable game because he played against Boris Spassky, who is a former world champion with only, well, he only have 8 years, so that's an interesting game to learn a little bit about the game. Because okay, I'm just going to show us this game was to just for show for still his legacy and his memory, but to learn here, you should play queen c7, not show your cards in the Sicilian. In the Sicilian, the go short castle fast used to be bad idea. Sometimes, of course, sometimes it's fine, but especially when white is going to be when white is going to go with long castle, it's to be a strange idea to castle short so early. And yes, and last mistake, of course, you cannot play b5 here open all the night without your pieces undeveloped, of course. But okay, I'm going to analyze more of his memorable games. Yes, he had many victories against Grandmasters, and but this is the best game that I analyzed for his memory series. But the next game is going to be a victory that who helped Naroditsky to win the world champion under 12. So let's see. I'm going to analyze the game. So let's see the game and the rest of his games in his memory. Bye bye, motherfuckers.